I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm placing it C because
C? Okay.
yeah, because you know I know why? Because Evanescence has a song
What's
in there, and I love Evanescence. I listen to that song all the time.
All right.
That's one of them.
It's the one with it's like "Wake Me Up" inside or whatever.
Yeah, there you
Is that the
go.
one that's from that movie? Oh, that's crazy.
You're listening to a Valiant Star podcast. Enjoy.
What's good, beautiful nerds, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerds Be Like podcast, episode 107. With me is Eric, and
Hi.
we have my name's Dan, and we have a special guest, Darren. Do you want me to say your last name or?
Yeah, you can go there.
All right, Darren Rita. All right, we're a special guest. And you know, once you let us know what you introduce yourself, I guess, you know, what you're into.
Yeah, first off, thank you to you guys for having me. Nerds Be Like podcast, dope podcast. We shouted it out over on mine. I'm a podcast host as well, and I also might make and record music. I have my own media company, but I am a huge nerd at heart, and I love the MCU, even some of the older films that we're going to be talking about today with the legacy stuff, and then I also big into Dragon Ball and Star Wars and all that sort of fun stuff. So I'm just excited to be here and get to chat with you guys.
All right, awesome, man. I appreciate you coming here.
For real.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like you mentioned, we're going to be talking about Marvel Legacy films, which includes everything that's not in the MCU, and we're gonna be running through like a tier list, and you know we're gonna jump into it. But first, make sure to like this video, subscribe, ding the bell, and join our Discord server. And we're also now gonna jump into no real news. It's more just like general thoughts on the recent Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Just a little snippet. You know, something I realized this is long. This is a very long trailer.
It is. It says teaser though.
Yeah, I know. It's 3 minutes. I think it hits different now more than ever because recently I've just been rewatching the older movies. So like just hearing Defoe's laugh.
I got actual chill. Like people say like, oh, I got chills watching. It's kind of like
I did too.
a little cringe. I literally did when he said hello, Peter. When I just like the crispness of his voice in that moment. The first time I watched the trailer, I was like, dude, this did not just happen. Like, it's fantastic. 10 out of 10. Whoever leaked it, you know, and forced them to release it, props to you because I'm happy about
Well, I
it.
mean, they're also in trouble, but
Yeah, they probably are. But thanks for
Lots.
letting us get to see that.
yeah.
After
And it was what like how many months?
bro. When
Years?
did it stop filming? Last year? Maybe?
I don't know. Maybe like March.
No. Yeah, that's still. They could have had a trailer. You know.
Oh
what I
well,
mean?
yeah, but they didn't know where everything was headed, so understandably.
It makes sense though
Well,
to wait after all this multiverse stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I saw too. There was a thing, like certain movie theaters were using fan-made posters to promote the movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like so close to its release, and Marvel wouldn't send them even a poster. So it's kind of crazy. Or so I don't know who would control that merchandising side of things. Maybe that's
Think-
Sony, but
Yeah, I think it would be Sony.
Yeah, I think it'd be Sony too, but Marvel. I mean, I don't know what their percentage is. Was it half and half, or was it like
I think
55?
this is their agreement is 90-10 for the Spidey stuff. But but like Marvel I think Marvel switched the financing to be more of a 50-50 split.
Okay.
Before Marvel was like paying for the whole film to get made and then only getting 10% of like the profits or something similar to that effect. And then they wanted a more fair deal, and that's what Sony. There was a whole big Save Spidey thing, and
Yeah.
they were going to pull him.
Yeah, and I think now it's 50-50. Before it was like 20
It's something. I think Sony might have a little bit more, if anything, just like 5 or 10% more.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because Marvel still has toy distribution, and that's still big for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared. Are they going to take Spidey away from us?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. That's what everyone
it's
is
fine.
theorizing, is that like he's gonna. That's what this whole No Way Home thing is gonna set it up, so that like it's the Spider-Verse, and then that's how it will make sense to the average viewer that Tom Holland still gets to play Spider-Man, but he won't be in the MCU, is what people were saying. So I kind of hope that doesn't happen. I really like the continuity that they built, but you know,
Yeah, it'll be not necessarily tricky, but it'll just be like, um, maybe waved away. It's like, oh yeah, maybe the Sony will have their own Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, and MCU will have their own version of Tom Holland because of multiverse. I guess
Andrew
because they can
Garfield.
look somewhere. It'll it'll be confusing, but if they do that, I guess it makes sense. But I don't know. It's weird.
yeah, it is. It's dicey for sure.
But yeah, any other thoughts? Any theories?
Jamie Foxx is back. That's it.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about it a little bit in the tier list, but like I seeing that like Yellow Lightning, was gonna be really cool to see it, a comic accurate version of Electro.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be yellow or he's just gonna have costume alluding to that, or it's like, because they changed the lightning, but like.
I think that whatever that fake leaked photo of Jamie Foxx, the fake one, where he's wearing like a
The
construction vest. Yeah, I think that's a really nice look. I don't think they're gonna do that. I'd be fine if it was just like, just simple colors, maybe a little muted if they need it to be. But the fact that they have a yellow electricity is kind of cool.
I think it's gonna be weird. The fact that the yellow wasn't the problem.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're not.
I mean, the studio was the problem. That
No,
like I
I
don't.
Well, like he's gonna get another shot at like playing maybe like a cooler version of.
But like technically the
Electro.
same version, you know what I mean? But they're gonna
Yeah, well,
try
it's a
not to
variant.
say it's the same version. Like it's weird because they're definitely going with the same version with Doc Ock and
Yeah.
Dafoe.
I
You know what I
think
mean? Like that's weird.
Defoe and Electro are variants, like
Yeah.
not pulled directly out. Doc Ock's probably the only original one.
I think even with Doc Ock though too, I think what's really cool about this whole Spider-Verse thing and what looks like it's going to happen in No Way Home is that they can kind of like pluck what was great about like the things that were great about each of those other films and kind of just leave the rest, whatever was bad, and then just chalk it up to Spider-Verse. We can do whatever we want. This is a variant. This is the way cooler version of Doc Ock. We're just elevating him slightly, and same thing with Helm's Green Goblin and Jamie Foxx as Electro. I think that'll be really cool to see what they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's it's definitely gonna be widely different than what we've seen.
How long do you think the film will be?
2:30.
Uh,
At
I
least.
think that's the hope, because they're
the
packing a
only
lot of
way.
stuff in.
That's the only way. Like, okay, maybe with credits it'll be like 2:20, but it's definitely gonna be around like 2:30.
I wish it was just like an Infinity War 3 hour, 3 hour.
Yeah, it would
Spidey
make
film.
more sense.
To be able to fit it all in then.
It'd be paced well, but knowing them, probably not.
Yeah, and I mean, having all of that, I don't think 3 hours is gonna be what Sony wants, is because like the 3 hour mark is gonna be difficult on theaters because the less time you have, like runtime, the more showings you could do. So I think they're gonna
That's
try to
true.
cut it to that point, which is
Sure.
what my theory of it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I guess we'll see when
Yeah.
if it comes out in December.
December.
A lot can change between now and December.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. You want to give like a brief rundown of what we're gonna do, Eric? While I get this.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Alright.
So we're gonna go through a tier list. I don't know. Did you name the tier list or no?
I just Marvel Legacy. That's.
No, I meant like the different tiers, or you just went through.
Oh no! I just put. I think I'm just gonna add another tier that's like either didn't watch or don't remember enough.
Ah,
I think only one of them I'd be able to put in. But if
I think
anybody
there's
else
a
have seen it,
couple. Maybe like
okay.
because I didn't really like Punisher like that until the show came out on
Yeah,
Netflix,
yeah,
which
yeah,
I
I feel
forgot
you.
about those two. while we were doing
I
this.
forgot there was 3 of them. That came
Yeah, and
out.
then
I thought it was
there's
just.
Inhumans too, remember? And then Runaways and all that. But those are shows, so like I don't
Yeah, I'm
really
not
think
gonna.
about them.
I forgot about.
Yeah,
So,
see,
I don't think I'm gonna put that in there. Mostly because
But-
everything's done.
no, we're just doing a tier list on all what pre MCU, Fox, Marvel,
Sony.
Sony, I guess. Marvel. Did you put
Let's
Venom
talk
in
this
there
up.
or no? Or you're considering that MCU?
Here's the thing. I put it in there. I was gonna ask you, but I'm like, I might as well because I don't know.
It doesn't technically, as of like right now, it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'd rather be safe and just leave it, leave it be.
That's bad.
Honestly, it's I was trying to find where to watch most of these, and it was really weird because Disney Plus has some of them. It has the Fantastic Four, the majority of the X-Men movies,
Mm.
and the Fantastic Four reboot, like
But-
the the Josh Trank one, and like
Yeah.
it was really like well, it was kind of scattered a little bit. So I'm like, I mean, it's fine because like what happens with like the rights and everything and the Spider-Man stuff, but like the fact that I can watch Fantastic Four on Disney Plus was kind of cool. So here I have the list here, but I not in chronological order.
Oh, so
I
you
don't
just
know
have like whatever there?
Yeah, some of them were just because I named them, but I was looking at dates and coming back to it was like very strange. But yeah, it was it was just like looking back and forth on the dates was hella strange.
Oh, I can give you dates for every single one.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's gonna take a while to order them. The first couple are like the first row are ordered.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, we'll go through it.
What's the first one, Bleed?
No, the first one is because I forgot about it. It's the Punisher one.
The Dolph.
The Dolph
one.
Lundgren
I must break you. Heard that.
So yeah, we'll start off first on the first Punisher movie. I mean, I don't think this is the first ever MCU movie. I think the only one Marvel movie. I think the only one I didn't put was like Howard the Duck because I just now remembered that.
Well, they had an old Captain America one. Remember when they
That
had
too.
like,
They had the movie series
there's-
and
There's like 4 of those.
and a Doctor Strange
Four?
one? Yeah,
Yeah.
whoa.
there's a lot of older ones. I think there's 3 of those. A Doctor Strange one. You know the Hulk show that they had. The Incredible.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four one that was never released.
Yeah, and then the other one.
You guys
that
seen
was
that, by the way?
released- No, it was never released.
No, like
No.
the rough like cuts and like clips and anything. There's stuff available, just not like full like
I saw
here's a
one
DVD.
It looked
Mm.
terrible. Atrocious. Like,
It is like
worst.
I saw behind the scenes and like apparently it was never supposed to be like released. Like they just did it to keep the rights,
Makes sense.
which is it's prevalent later on. We'll get into it, but yeah, we'll start off with the first Punisher. First off, anybody remember this or anybody watch it?
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch it. It's
I've-
Darren?
I've never
Before my
seen
time.
it. I was in preparation for today. I was like going through lists of all of them
Mhm.
and then like trying to watch like summarized things, and from
Right.
what I could hear about it, it was not very good or very well received.
I don't remember which. I think it might be the middle one, but like one of the versions is he's not anywhere in the military. He's just a cop or an FBI agent. So I don't know. I don't know where that one is or which one it is. But I'm just gonna leave it as didn't watch just because like I didn't watch it either. But I basically heard the same thing you heard. It's not very
I mean,
well regarded.
It is an '80s action movie, so like you can't
Hey,
really. You
No,
know what I
you got-
mean? There was
good
like
point.
nothing to put into there. It was just like action at that point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like I guess not a lot of people remember it. I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still made. But one film that was very much remembered to this day is the first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, released in '98, maybe something like that. It was definitely in the '90s. The later part of it.
98.
So, what would you guys think about this? Because I haven't watched it in a little while, but I definitely remember
I watch it every
how
year.
gory.
You know
it-
that.
I love the Blade. I mean the whole Blade trilogy, especially this one. I
Mhm.
feel like is probably like the most solid, like well done as a film, I feel like. And it kind of, I don't know, it definitely shook up. Like superhero movies were pretty goofy going into that. Like before that film, they were kind of
Yeah.
all over the place in quality. And I feel like I don't know, they especially that one laying the groundwork for the next two films, like it really like established like, hey, you can make really compelling superhero stories and they don't have to be this like weird like weird crappy costumes for kid toys. Like we can just make a good story and execute it well and get an actor who decides to like live as the character and it will be good. So I don't know. I think that one should be pretty high up there in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it started a lot of stuff, like you said. Definitely pushed like how serious and actiony and like gory and everything like a superhero movie can be, especially with the concept and everything. And this was one of the first to push that kind of further. Eric, since you've watched it more recently, where do you think it where do you think it goes?
I love it so much. You know that.
Yeah,
I watch it. I watch it like every year. I get into this like little rut where I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen Blade in a while. I'm gonna watch Blade. So for me, it's one of them ones that I grew up watching. This like my mom watched this. I was born in '96, so it came out in '98. So I watched this at a very young age. I mean, it was rated R, but like
Yeah.
deep down, it's like one of the first anti-heroes because he's not a hero.
Oh yeah.
He kills not people, but he kills vampires. It was gory, it was bloody. He cussed up a storm. he had some good one-liners when he was fighting Frost, I think at one point. He said motherfuckers always trying to skate us uphill. And I was like, oh wow, like you're right.
His tone is phenomenal throughout the whole series. Just Wesley Snipes is Blade.
Yeah, and no one has done it since. I mean, we're getting a new one coming soon. Don't know when though. But he was phenomenal. He was iconic. This is what made him he was a movie star before, but I want to say like action star.
Yeah.
And the story was, I guess for the first going out, it was all right. It was like real. What
world building is pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah, like what was the Blood God? Something like that?
Yeah. That finale was
well, just the
like
idea of
clashing
the whole, like, vampire shit is cool.
Yeah.
The whole like secret society among us is kind of sick. Like it kind of is like similar to like the whole kind of the way like they build the world in John Wick, where it's like it's just fascinating that there like could be this other thing going on right under our noses kind of thing.
No one knows about it. No one knows about it. And what's it called? The fact that David S. Goyer wrote this, like,
yeah, that amazes me. Like how much good and how much crap he's written.
Yeah, it's like really weird on that. Yeah, but yeah, this is one of my like favorite movies to watch.
So where do you want to put it, or where do you think it should go?
A.
That's what I was thinking too. Because we said high up. I was like, I think that's a really good place to start.
Yeah, it's definitely.
All right. Next up, we have the original X-Men movie. This is one of the ones that are available on Disney Plus. And I'll just say I have recently watched it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a really good cast. Like the X-Men, I think as a whole were cast really well. Like specifically like Professor X and Magneto, of course Wolverine, but like that story was just very simple and it introduced the world to mutants. I think the CG, obviously, we'll talk about CG fluctuating here and there, but like it's still a little weird, but I still really like it, and it has like the continuation to the sequel is really good too. Like it connects very well. What do you guys think?
It's all right. I don't mind it. I don't remember a lot of I didn't watch it like get really deep into a lot of the other films, but I do remember like the first one being pretty solid. Especially, I mean, growing up at least, I haven't rewatched it recently, But Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. You can't really beat that.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like it's definitely like of its time in terms of like
that's what I was gonna
costumes.
say.
And,
You can
and-
tell.
Yeah.
It's one of them
But-
time periods to where you can point everything out. Like,
yeah,
CGI and
music
all
and-
that. Yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's just the introduction to it's like this just new world. So I think it did a solid job of doing it. But like it has like very much things that are dated.
I feel like it's around a C tier. I mean, what do you guys think?
Definitely. And like
Yeah.
it's not
No, I agree.
terrible, but
It's
not
very
a bad
watchable.
film. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
but I don't forget it because I've seen it so many times. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those that it's content with me at this point. Like, okay, I'll watch it. Let's do it.
All right. Next up, we have the sequel to Blade.
Oh god.
This is the Guillermo del Toro one, right, Eric?
Oh, yup.
Okay. I remember.
Yup.
I remember the standout being like Ron Perlman, his like crazy, like serious kind of way, like his character, but like he portrayed it very differently and very cool.
Mm.
And the villains was I think it was like a clone or something.
A hybrid vampire that they were trying to
Okay.
make they were trying to make vampires not weak and like they're only like mutate kind of
Mhm.
Oh, wait, I think it was removing the weaknesses or
weaknesses.
something. Yeah. Okay.
right,
And they had the weird like jaw thing that like opened up.
unhinged and came out.
that's-
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's that didn't. I remember watching it like later in life, not when it when like it came out or whatever. But like that shit really creeped me out.
Right. It's
Like
creepy.
the
Everything
autopsy.
creeps me out.
Yeah, I know, but what is it the where they open him up? I forgot what that word is.
The
But, like,
autopsy.
yeah, I was trying to pronounce it, but like, but that's just it's just really weird. But like, I understand the creatively why they did it, because Del Toro. But it's just I think it's a nice sequel, but I don't know if it where you guys want to put it.
It's stronger than the first one just because it's Del Toro. Like
Okay, all right. I don't remember it that much, but that's
Oh man!
But, like-
It's-
like I haven't
it's-
watched it more recently. That's what I'm trying to say. But
This is the one I watched the most.
I thought it's
Ron
pretty dope.
Perlman. Yeah.
It definitely like takes two from the first one, and like I feel like it expands on it in meaningful ways. Like with it kind of gives more of the background on the vampires, and then it's sort of because if I remember correctly, aren't there some of them that aren't cool with them trying to do these experiments and stuff? So it kind of like has an internal conflict there as well. If I'm remembering correctly, I thought there was like some of the higher up vamps that were like, no, we don't want this bullshit. And then the one dude he like murders one of the higher ups. And he's like, no, we're doing it. And there was that. So it was like, it's just kind of cool that they like, it just makes you like interested in what like this world is, as opposed to like, here are the bad guys. They're new and they're worse than they were before. Kind of gives you like a reason to care.
right, and there was like a team, correct?
Yeah, it's
that-
the
yeah,
hit
okay.
squad. It was a hit squad to hunt down Blade.
Blade.
And they end up when they create this and he escapes. They're like, well, we gotta go get Blade and bring him here, and then he's gonna do our dirty work, and then we can kill two birds with one stone. But the fact that is like Blade is onto this, he is on this hit squad's ass the entire time. Like I think him and Ron Perlman get into it multiple occasions, and then
Yeah,
Whistler and
I think I
Ron
remember that.
Perlman get into it multiple occasions, and then
Oh, he
like
came back too.
yeah.
Whistler.
It's one of the movies that you're like, well, they went real in depth with character in this one.
So where do you wanna put it? Or where do you think it should
it's
go?
S.
S. Okay.
I mean, it's
Eric.
got to be close.
I
Yeah, I
think
mean-
it's S2. It's
Okay.
one of my favorite ones. I feel like this is like the only one I could put near S.
Oh, okay.
To me, it's a solid
I see a couple others.
I guess I got to rewatch it now.
Yeah,
All right, so we're gonna move on to the first ever Spider-Man film, from 2002, I believe. Yeah, man, like I remember watching it with my cousin, like repeatedly. Like he had the DVD and everything, and like this is like my first I exposure to Spider-Man. I think outside of just like video games.
Mhm.
But watching it, because I watched it today. I was like, because I wanted to like, think about like the Goblin and everything. I'm like, yeah, he's very goofy, like his design, but Willem Dafoe really plays that really well. Like his villain is like super devious, and like he plays the those dual roles, seeing like the him turn and everything. That's very creepy to just like think about. But I as a whole, I think it's really solid. It started the I think a good amount of tropes, and like they did a lot of camera work in terms of like the web swinging and everything, which is really cool. Yeah, and what do you guys think?
I definitely think this is another one of the ones that like it. You can tell the times,
Yeah.
like definitely.
The you go to the credits, it's like Nickelback.
Yeah, I love
And,
Nickelback. I listen to that song all the
whatever
time.
that's. Yeah, I know it's a good song.
It is, but no, like it was original ideas. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it wasn't straight pulled source from comic. Like they gave him room to do what he wanted to do, even though they were very involved from what I was watching today about like Spider-Man 4 and all that. But he Sam Raimi he put his soul into this
Yeah.
to make it his own, because it definitely is its own. And there's nothing like this. There's been better ones in like the franchise, but
Yeah.
it was a good jumping off point for a more light-hearted hero from what we got so far up until this point.
I think also the whatchamacallit, the action, especially the last Goblin Spider-Man fight was very vicious.
Oh yeah, it took a turn to.
It's very Raimi inspired.
I just rewatched like to the ending half of that film, and there's like a point where during that last fight where they like drop the score out completely.
Oh
And
yeah.
you hear, but like it like if you would think it would kind of make it seem a little weird, like they're just like two guys fighting on a stage, but like it actually I feel like added a lot to like the last fight, because you kind of just like you feel like the gravity of these super people punching each other, and like the rocks cluttering on the ground as they're Spidey's getting his ass kicked. And I don't know, I think it's a pretty solid movie. And I think wasn't it like one of the highest selling films opening week when it came out?
I think so. Yeah.
It blew people away, and I think that's probably part of like you guys were saying, with like Raimi just kind of had a little bit of the reins to himself. And I think some of the cinematography was pretty impressive, especially for the time. Like you definitely could tell it's it's a little dated now, but for the time, and some of the specific scenes, like I feel like these were like the first times that Spidey was being brought to the big screen in live action. So I think they really did a good job depicting that. Like I particularly like the scene when he first climbs up the wall, like that is like stuck in my head, as well as like even the fight scene at the high school is really goofy, but like that's that's stuck in my head as well. There's just a lot of, and I'm sure there's some nostalgia, clouding my judgment as well.
Right.
There's a, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of set pieces in there that like there's a lot of memorable moments where like it might not everything holds up, but it definitely, I think it did a lot of things right.
I think also the big responsibility scene, or whatever, the with great power comes great responsibility, the Uncle Ben scene was that's just a fantastic moment. And like you really like the gradually like seeing how Peter's changing. You can just kind of see how like annoyed he is with his life at the moment. And just like that little confrontation before he goes to the wrestling match, it's just a little emotional, and it comes back every film after that, or
Yeah.
the two films after that. Yeah, I mean, where do you guys think it should go? I think maybe I have an idea, but I'll let you guys go ahead.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I feel like it's close. It's got to be like a B tier, like B or C.
I think maybe like, yeah, middle B probably for whatever else is gonna go there.
I was gonna say like top of B, but yeah, I think we'll leave it at B, and then we'll figure out if we need to move it.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. Next up, we have X2 or X-Men United. I think it is.
I think that was 3. Or is it X2 X-Men United? That's gross. I forget the titles of these names, dude.
On Disney Plus, it just says X2, but I remember United
bad.
was there.
Well, I think at one point, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was called like Rise of Electro. Yeah, so like I going back. Oh, it's so bad.
I think this is a very.
I forget this one.
I think I like this more than the first one, just because like how the jumping off points that it has with Wolverine's past. Let me see. The villain Stryker was obviously he pops up in and out in the later movies, but he was really like menacing for not being like a powered villain. Just, like influencing
a government figure.
Yeah, and like one of my favorite sequences is that when the military goes into the mansion and like Wolverine has that like fight sequence. That like I really like that and when Bobby goes back home. Those two scenes are really like I always like think of them when I think of like the original X-Men. So I think I definitely put it above the first X-Men. Possibly near Spider-Man, but I don't know what you guys want to say about that. Darren, have you seen this?
I think that's a fair rate. I've only seen no, I have seen this one. I haven't seen the next one in the X-Men franchise, but from what I can remember, this was pretty early on when I had seen this one. I don't recall most of it, but I do think it definitely, again, I think with a lot of these first films in these franchises, they like the ones that did a solid job, like the first X-Men and like the first Spider-Man. I feel like they allowed for there to be a foundation for the second ones to kind of like really hit a home run. And I feel you know, I know like later as some of the X-Men films, like a criticism of them is kind of how they just like the storylines get a little confusing and whatnot. And so I think that this one it did what it needed to do, and it did a better job than the first one.
Right. Eric, any thoughts?
I grew up on this one too. I think I like this one a little bit more because you already know the characters. You know what I mean? You don't have to deal with anything else outside of, you know, Logan left off, comes back. You know, I don't know if we're going spoiler warning, but like, yeah. At this point,
2000 movie.
I mean, all these movies, but still, yeah. He just the cast just this second time around. It's basically the same cast, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's you also get Nightcrawler in here, which
right.
What's his name? Alan Cumming.
Loki.
Yeah, from the Mask.
No. Loki from the Mask. Heard that.
He played that really well. Like he's only there like briefly, maybe like 10 minutes tops.
He looked really good too. Like for it being as old as this is, like Mystique, I didn't really, you know what I mean? Like she looked, I guess, all right. I mean, she was just painted in blue, but he was painted in blue too. But the tattoos that he had or the symbols, they were really good, and the fact that he teleported, that looked well too. I think I watched this recently, and I was like, that still looks good.
Yeah, it really does.
It looked like it was like one shot throughout the entire White House too, if they could have pulled that off.
Yeah, right, continuous. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it did look like that. From what I remember, I think the CG here wasn't like not as bad, but I don't think there was a lot of it used compared to like the first one and the third one. So I mean, I would place it, like I said, right next to Spider-Man.
Yeah, probably a little bit under.
Yeah, like right here or something.
It's definitely better than the first one. You got to know a lot more.
For sure.
I mean, and Magneto was great in this one too.
Right. Like, his escape scene was really cool too.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the first Daredevil?
Yes.
Or I think the only one.
The only one.
Darren, have you seen it?
I have not. No.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it since I've seen the first time.
It's been a while for me, but I've seen it a couple times.
But I know the soundtrack is very dated, and I know the action has a lot of CG in it. But from what I remember, the Kingpin was really well cast.
What's his name?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
I don't.
But like,
God, really well cast, but we don't know us.
No,
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Jon Favreau's in it. Colin Farrell.
I love Jon Favreau in this so much. Like I remember him being just this wacky, kind of like goofball of a friend. I mean that's how Foggy is in general, but I like how he is. I don't know. I think I maybe place it in D, but what do you think, Eric?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm placing it C because
okay.
Yeah, because you don't know why? Because Evanescence has a song in there, and I love Evanescence. I listen to that song all the time.
All right,
that's one of them.
I'll put it low C. How about that?
I forget what it's called. Hold on, let me figure it out.
It's the one with it's like "Wake Me Up" inside or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
The one from that movie. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that they made the soundtrack. I think
that's dope.
I mean, Chad Kroeger has one here too.
All right, next up we have the first ever Hulk movie. I know we had the series prior to it, but we had the big screen Hulk movie here. I've seen it twice with my cousin.
seen it a lot.
But I remember it's the first. Well, no, I probably saw it more than once with my cousin. But the later time that I saw it, I watched it with him because I was like, let's just relive old memories. And I kid you not, when we started it, I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that because immediately it's a very stylistic film in terms of the transitions because it Ang Lee wanted to do it like a comic book. Well, I mean, which is interesting, but I don't think it works necessarily with the Hulk specifically, like him. I think maybe a Deadpool or a She-Hulk would have worked a little better, but I don't know. The CG definitely was something that was gonna hit the film because it wasn't the best CG at the time because he looks a little rubbery. But I know Eric, you've seen it, so where do you remember anything?
So
good points?
I remember all of it because I said, I watch these movies faithfully. I own this in original DVD.
I believe you own every single one.
I do. I own all of them. I owned Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, on VHS when I was a kid, and I took it with me everywhere. So I'm pretty sure I own this. I think I had my name written on the back of it. I look for it. It's somewhere around here. But remember I watched it recently. Of course, the Hulk, I thought he was always going to look funny just because that's a lot to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a big budget. Nick Nolte, oh my God.
I always forget he's in here. But
he's
the dad, right?
Yes. It was a whole relationship. It was a good story. His father experimented on himself and then he experimented on his son to make him stronger because he was doing work. I think it was Super Soldier program, but they couldn't mention Super Soldier at this time because I think this was universally owned still.
Yeah.
So it was just a program, and then he got fired for experimenting, the dad, and the story holds up. To me, it holds up a lot. The action scene with him and his dad fighting the Hulk dogs, it's pretty cool. I think the reason why nobody likes Hulk movies, they feel like there's not enough action. Yeah, he's a real sad character, but you have to go through the story to get to why you get to the Hulk. You know what I mean? What he's been through in his life. So I actually like really like this movie. Like if you rewatch it now, Dan, and you go in there with like the mindset that I'm telling you, it's it's really good. And you know what's crazy? It like ends right after a final battle, like that, like quick.
Oh, there's no
And you're
resolution. Like, no,
yeah,
no.
like it's real
What?
weird. It's so weird,
that.
but it's really good. I know the score is.
Oh yeah, I remember the score being really, really cool.
Yeah.
There was one thing I remember from that film. It was the tracking shot that he had on his face when he like first transformed in like his house or something.
Mhm.
Like one of the military guys like, which is I don't know why he was beating him up, but like he was kicking him down, and like they had like a tracking shot where like it just moved with his face. I remember that being really cool. Darren, have you seen this?
I have not. I've only seen pieces of this on when it was on TV a while back. But from what I was gathering before earlier today, when I was like kind of looking at some of these, was kind of what you were saying, Eric. With a lot of people don't really like Hulk movies, and it's just because maybe it doesn't translate well. Like people don't want to sit through like the boring stuff in their minds, but the stuff that makes Bruce.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of want to get to the Hulk part. So I think I don't know. I think it. If you guys say it's a good film, that's I haven't seen enough of it to be able to say that. But from what I've heard, it was decent for the time. So.
Yeah, and I miss the fact that when he gets angry, he gets bigger. Like I understand he gets angrier, but he gets bigger, and it's so cool because he's like really the size of a building at like some point, and you're like,
that
"Yo!"
always confused me.
It's why they got rid of it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess maybe like you don't want a really giant character.
He OP. That's why you can't have no like the madder he gets, the bigger he. Come on.
Where do you want to put it then, Eric?
Probably like middle C.
So in between these two, in between X-Men and Daredevil.
Yeah, because I'll watch it over Daredevil. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right. So this next one I have not seen, which is the Blade Trinity.
Trinity. Yes.
Okay. And I think you guys are more experienced with this. Just because I haven't watched it. I know that I know all the stories of like Onset, like being like, and even Darren was talking about it a little bit earlier, like the mishaps and everything. But I have not seen this, so like you guys take me.
Yeah, I mean I liked it. I like the Blade like series as a whole a lot, or like everything I remember about it, and I've watched them. I think I watched them like last year or the year before. So and I like rewatched all of them, and I think there's still a lot that holds up. I know a lot of people didn't like this one as much as the other two, and I don't know that it's like better than the second one or the I don't know if I would necessarily put it like above or even at the same as the first one, but I still think it's a good movie. And Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, so you gotta love that. And then him and Wesley Snipes is it's awesome. I mean, it's a solid film. I mean, in my opinion, I would say it's probably around a B tier.
So like you want it like mid? You say?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear what you think, Eric.
So like I said, I love Blade. So every time he comes back, I'm here for it. It got cooler. Like, don't get me wrong. Okay, whatever, they have issues, but it definitely got cooler. At this point, he got a new suit, which looks totally badass. It wasn't Wesley Snipes fighting the whole time, but it was still like consistent with like 1 and 2 to where it looked better. The fight scenes definitely looked better. He got like a new suit. I thought that was great. The story now, I like with them actually like pulling Dracula in, I think that's where they bit too much off with having a whole team take Dracula on, because Blade's getting older, and they definitely like took that to advantage. Like, okay, we're gonna train this new generation for everything, but they just pushed it too fast to where they're like, yeah, you're gonna have a whole team and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like right from the jump.
Yeah, have you ever seen there was like a fourth Blade movie that wasn't with Wesley Snipes. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it was like the show. It was with Sticky Fingers. I remember.
Was it? Well, I saw. No, there's like a film because my friend and I we bought a while back. Because like he only had like the first 2 DVDs like when we were like in I want to say like in like grade school. We would like watch them, and then like we ended up finding this DVD like freshman or sophomore year of high school, and we bought. It was like a 4-in-1 movie thing, and it was Blade 1 through Trinity, and then it had like a 4th film that was a Blade movie, and it was with some I don't even know who was playing Blade, but it was a terrible movie. And spoiler alert, so that no one watches this film ever, Blade loses, and he hobbles away on his motorcycle. Like he like goes to this like building for this final fight, and he's like trying to do this like crazy. I forget what he was doing, rescuing somebody or something, and he like gets his ass kicked and leaves. Like, he like hobbles away like a pussy, and I'm like, that is not Blade. Like, what is this movie? But I remember being so disappointed because we like binged we were showing our friend the whole series in one night, and like we started watching them like earlier in the day, and we got to the 4th one. We're all excited because like that was the first one that my other friend and I hadn't seen because we'd seen the other 3, and we get to that one and we were like, where the hell is Wesley Snipes? What's going on? What's happening?
I had no idea.
It was so terrible. I'm gonna try and find this. I'm gonna look this up. But I mean, I'd say for that one, I don't know what you guys want to say, but I'd say that one's around like a B tier.
Eric, what do you think?
Maybe like top C, mid C. I watch them like, but like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm the deal breaker, but I have no idea. So, I mean, I could put it at the bottom of B.
Yeah, either bottom or B, or like,
Yeah.
maybe.
And I say this just because we have a consistent Blade, in both in A, in S, A, and B. We can keep it like that. And if we gotta move stuff around, we'll move stuff around. All right. So next up, we have the sequel to the original Spider-Man movie. I think this one's always going to be regarded as one of the better Spider-Man films, in terms of story and villain. But you know, I I've seen this a good amount of times as well. I either more than the first one or like about the same amount. But Eric, what do you think?
For what? Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2, yeah.
That's definitely A tier.
Top A before Blade.
Bottom A.
Bottom A, okay.
Just because he is so whiny and Mary Jane is
no,
so
I think he's
indecisive.
more whiny in the other.
He's whiny in the whole thing, dude. The whole thing, he's whiny.
I think he's more whiny in 3.
And I get it, but like you haven't even been through nothing. Like, oh, your best friend's dad died. Oh, what's that got to do with you? Your uncle died. I get it. That always happens. And then Mary Jane was whiny too. She wanted to be a hoe, but she didn't want to be a hoe. But then she wanted to be a hoe. So like at this point, I don't know. Well, did she want him or not?
No, I get it. I get it. I also recently saw the how it should have ended for that, and it's very similar. Darren, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think it's a pretty solid film. I don't know that it's definitely. I don't know if it's like S tier, but it's definitely a very good movie. And potentially, I mean, in a lot of ways, better than the first one.
I want to say I want to put it before Blade, the first one. But I don't know if you know.
I think it could go top of A. It could be top of A.
All right, so it's 2 top of A.
Yeah, I think that's
all right. Sorry. All right, next up.
I'd watch Blade first, but it still is. I don't know. I think like overall, it's probably a better movie.
That makes sense. And more like back to what I was saying about the No Way Home trailer, Doc Ock returning. I think he's very well cast as Doc Ock in this movie. And I would also say that the mechanical, the arms, it being very practical is really cool too, just because it interacts with Alfred Molina, like in anything, like he's taking a sip of tea or whatever. I think that's also interesting, technology wise. All right, we can move on to the next one, Punisher, the John Travolta one. I haven't seen it. I know it exists, but I haven't seen it.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Are we just gonna put all the Punisher movies and didn't watch?
You know what's crazy? I own. Is this a Thomas Jane one?
Yeah, this is the one.
Okay, this is all right. I haven't seen it. I own it. Does that
All right,
count?
Darren.
I have a Punisher T-shirt. That's it. I remember I got a Punisher T-shirt when I was like in high school. My dad got it for me, but I've never watched it.
I think, but like I've heard good things about this one, Thomas Jane. Like I heard he was a good Punisher.
That's the one where he made the laundry short film,
Yeah,
right?
like he came
Okay.
back and made that.
Yeah.
So like I think he's an FBI agent in this one.
That's the one.
He wasn't in the
I didn't like
military. He's an
that.
FBI agent. I mean, I put it in D because I've heard a lot of good things about this, which I should probably go watch it.
So you want to put it in D or you want to
Yeah,
put it in
you put it in D.
Okay. We're gonna make someone mad.
Oh well.
All right. I don't think we're gonna make anyone mad with this next one. Electra.
I haven't seen it.
No, I've not seen it.
Didn't
and I heard
watch-
terrible things.
I did too.
Here's the thing. Didn't watch, but I know that Daredevil or the Matt Murdock has a cameo, but they cut it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the point of that was.
Can we make a new list and put that one in F? Because she broke
Oh,
up
new
with
tier?
Ben Affleck after years. Yes. Because why would you break up with him and make him lose
Well, I
all
don't
that
know, man.
weight and
You
become
got-
Batman? Nah. But now he with J-Lo. He up right now.
You're like, I'm not gonna do it. Hold on, I can't because like, oh man, I just changed the color. I don't want to mess it up how it is right now.
Yeah,
Let's leave it like that. Let's see. Next up, we have the original Fantastic Four.
Woo.
Solid.
Um.
I think the main standout of these two films is definitely Chris Evans' Johnny Storm
You think so?
and The Thing. I think, but like not like not. Well, what do you think, Eric? What do you think?
I think they took another step towards being lighthearted. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if you look at everything, I'm not saying everything's dark, but like they try to go a little bit towards like more
family.
noir storytelling. Yeah. And then when these movies came out, like I want to say when Spider-Man started doing well, and when I guess the first two X-Men started doing well, they started going towards that family friendly area, and that's where like this next generation of hero movies is.
Yeah.
Like it's a
I-
good story too.
Yeah, I think it's like a pretty straightforward movie. I mean, it's not like a terrible movie. It's not a great movie by any means.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I like it for a couple of reasons. I think I agree with what you're saying about that. It like kind of ushered in the more lighthearted nature. Not specifically this one, but as they started happening, because I honestly think that that's a big reason why superhero films maybe didn't catch on early and maybe were done somewhat incorrectly. Is that like comic book shit is ridiculous, and it's like okay that it's ridiculous. And I think like a lot of like early adaptations were like trying to be super serious, like trying to prove to people that don't even care about comic book stories that like these stories are good too. Like we're gonna make people really serious and strip away everything that makes them unique and just try to tell whatever 3-act structure. And I think like as they became a little bit more lighthearted, potentially more family friendly, whatever, I think like they started to like acknowledge the ridiculousness of superheroes, which is what makes them fantastic. And I think that's what's super cool about it. So I think that the best part about this is that Chris Evans got to meet Stan Lee and then eventually become Captain America down the road.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the best thing to come out of this movie.
I think I'm gonna like put it like before Daredevil.
That's it.
What do you think, Eric?
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy this movie. Like
I do
Johnny
too.
Storm, like the whole origin story of them is great. Ben is great. Like he lost his wife and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That was so sad.
Victor Von Doom. I'm not gonna lie. What's that man's name? Julian McMahon.
Yeah.
He is good. He plays a menacing character. Like
He's
okay,
good, but I don't think they've gotten the Doom correct.
Yeah. No, they definitely have not. But for it being like the time period to where they were trying original ideas and not going real comic booky, because all this is based off of ideas, but they're not following any like specific comic books. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
ushered with like
yeah.
MCU and stuff like that, where they started following that rule.
Because him being metal is not a thing.
Yeah, no. But like, I get what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But he was menacing. Some of his stuff just came off like kind of weird, but I guess that's writing. That like he said some stuff, and I was like, "Are you a villain or like are you a like trying to be a comedian?" But it was weird. But you know, it had that whole business aspect that you would expect.
Yeah.
Like I can see where they would have been like, "Oh well, Reed's going to Latveria to try to get money for his projects." Blah blah blah. They're like, "Well, no. Why don't we make it a corporation? People don't know what Latveria is and all that." Blah blah blah.
Right. And I think they even had Latveria in the second one.
They had it in this first one when he killed the dude. He said maybe you can go back to the homeland, Latveria, and start over. Because I think it was like the same thing. Wasn't it the same thing as Spider-Man where they like voted him out? Or that he was going
I don't remember.
bankrupt. He was going bankrupt because he took Reed to space or something.
Oh, yeah, I think it might be the bankrupt thing.
Yeah. So it was pretty good for me. I liked it, but they could have they paced it well too, actually. I think about it. Because I think it was like months went by that all this started happening.
Yeah.
So
from going to the space. Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like a week and then like everyone started going bad and using their powers and knew how to use their power. Like it was a little time period. And that I think that's why I like X-Men takes place within 3 days? All of them. All of them take
right.
1, 2. Yeah, actually. Like
1
a
and
week.
2 feels like it takes place like a couple weeks after or a month after each other.
But they're literally the same year, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, no, 3 is a little bit in the future. I think maybe a year.
Because it's right after I think Jean dies. Like it's real.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's real weird.
Remember. Well, speaking of that,
where'd you put it?
No, I didn't put it. It was right here.
No,
the Fantastic Four. I put it in between that.
I'll put it above Hulk.
Okay, I wanted to put above Hulk, but I don't know if you wanted to leave Hulk where it was.
Yeah.
The X-Men: The Last Stand. I watched it.
That one did not age well. That one's bad.
No, I don't. I think there's conflicting storylines in that one. Like there's too much going on.
And they killed Cyclops because dude couldn't maintain his what's it called? His scheduling.
In Superman. Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah, Bryan Singer.
They killed him because he was in Superman.
Well, because scheduling conflicts. He was in Superman. Bryan Singer took him over there.
That's so bad. No, I didn't realize. I knew there was scheduling conflicts, but I didn't know it was that.
Darren, what would you, or have you seen this?
This is the one I haven't seen.
This is the one you haven't seen. Okay.
What?
Yeah, it's an all right finale, I guess, to the, or the cap off. But I don't think it's above the first one. I think it's definitely
I'd put it in D.
D. Yeah, I was gonna say D. I'll put it
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I saw this one.
It's fine. I just think there's conflicting storylines with so many things coming from the comics and
a
Dark
lot
Phoenix.
of them in this year from 2002 to 2010. The storylines were confusing.
Yeah. Let me see if this is confusing. The Spider-Man 3 again with a little bit of I think what happened was Raimi wrote Sandman as the main villain.
Yes.
And the studio wanted Venom to be.
They wanted to add Venom. It was Sandman and it was Green Goblin. Them two. And then they're like, oh, well, we want Venom, which was probably Amy Pascal because she's weird about Venom.
I don't think she was there.
Or was
no, it was Avi Arad.
Arad. Okay. She was there though, but it was Avi Arad. He's always wanted Venom in the movie. Venom. Yeah, he has a hard on for Venom. But
he started that Eminem song and Eminem finished
don't
it.
Start. Don't start.
It's
bad writing.
Yeah, and the portrayal of emo Peter Parker
I think that was funny. I'm
It's
sorry.
funny.
I'm
No,
like,
look, it's funny. I think I understand it now because like that's maybe what the symbiote thought was cool, but it's still like I don't like the like it's funny to just laugh at. I just don't like the portrayal of it.
Yeah, it's like the so that part in particular is like the so bad it's good kind of thing. Where it's like,
Yeah.
it's funny now, but it like when you were, I mean, as a kid, I didn't really like. I forget how old I would have been when I.
2007. I was 11.
Okay, yeah, that was a while back. But I mean, I thought it was good at the time. But since I've rewatched it,
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
it like doesn't hold up as much. And like I don't know, it's definitely hilarious. Like with the memes and everything, it's got like that kind of the same charm as like a lot of the prequel Star Wars movies, where like you can kind of like enjoy them for what they are.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I agree. It's just kind of like it. Maybe not the writer's fault, but like they didn't not what they were going for originally. Yeah, the studio sort of forced that upon them. So I mean, it's not a trash film, but it's also not. I wouldn't put it like an A or a B even.
I think Sam Raimi sabotaged it and see what they would do, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we love it," and he was like, "Oh well, guess I gotta go through with it."
What, you think he killed Venom on purpose?
No, I think he killed the movie on purpose.
Because
he said after he was like, "I wish I never put that movie out. I did not want that to be my final Spider-Man piece of work and all this other stuff." And
it's crazy too because Sandman was written really well, and it just ties everything together to the first movie.
So is Harry. Harry is written really well in that,
and his sacrifice and everything.
Yeah, and his finding out about his father, and then fucking with Peter the way he was. Like you could tell that black suit was added in really late to where like he had a evolving story.
That fight sequence when they're fighting with each other, it was just really funny to me.
Yeah,
like in the mansion.
Ooh, yeah. Stings, though.
So what do you think? Before or like like after
D.
Daredevil D or
D.
You want to put in front of Last Stand?
I don't know.
It could be a lowest C maybe, or you could put it there.
I think top works just because I would watch the Spider-Man thing over The Last Stand.
Is it weird that I feel like all the three movies belong in D at this point? It's like Blade Trinity too.
I mean, that's what I thought you guys were going to go with it.
Yeah, you could leave it there.
All right. I think it's safe right there.
The sequel, the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
the Silver Surfer. I enjoyed this more than the first one. I don't know what you guys think, but like, I think I think Johnny Storm his arc is really well done.
Yeah, and I like the addition. I mean, Silver Surfer is just cool.
Oh yeah, that too.
All around
and
cool.
like,
I mean,
what's his name? Who voices him?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
I love
that. Who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put it just like literally the spot above the next one, like just like right above the next one. I mean, it's not like a crazy good film, but it definitely I agree with you. I think it's better than the first.
It's more entertaining than the first one.
Like you mean like right before the?
Yeah, literally. Like
okay.
Yeah.
It's really good. He knew where he was going, but the fact that they made Galactus a cloud, like that was kind of weird. I ain't gonna.
I love how accurate Silver Surfer looks, and then you go to Galactus.
Yeah.
What happened? All right, let's see. Look, we got a Ghost Rider, the first one.
That's good.
I don't remember this one,
man.
But no, I watched the second one. I didn't watch the first one.
What?
Yeah,
you
I know.
The one with Idris Elba though, so it's
because I think because I saw like a clip of that him being that Daredevil sequence in the first one on TV or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I never actually fully seen the movie. All right, what do you think then, Eric?
I think it's a great movie. It has aged well. It's Nicolas Cage. So like there's a special place in my heart for Nicolas Cage. I'm not gonna lie. The story, well, Mephistophelies is in here, Dan. You automatically got to put
Mephistophelies.
It's Mephisto.
I know.
It had a good villain, Blackheart. It wasn't just, you know what I mean? The fact that they brought in Sam Elliott, he was so good in that. He was like the ghostwriter before him.
Oh, that's cool.
And he rode a horse, and the horse like lit up like the bike, and the horse was on fire and had flames.
That's actually kind of cool. Seeing
It-
Sam
no,
Elliott
it's
voice-
like
I mean,
yeah,
say that.
it's one of those movies that this one has stuck with me too. Like I watched this a lot, childhood. Probably not like as frequent. 2007 too. Damn.
So where do you think?
This is probably like low B for me.
All right. Darren, have you seen this movie?
I have not seen this one. I've not seen either. I've only actually that's not true. I've seen a part of the second one. One of my friend's dads was watching it a while back, and I remember walking in on it and just kind of stayed for a little bit of it. But no, I haven't seen it, so I can't accurately judge it.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it to Eric's judgment. Put it. You want after Blade
Yeah.
Trinity? Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Next up, Punisher Warzone.
Nope.
I heard this movie's really gruesome.
Nope. I don't know. It had
I think that's the one we were talking about. The Thor actor. Forgot his name already.
yeah.
Ray Stevenson. Yeah. He. No, not he. And the director. I think what happened was she made the movie really gruesome and really like accurate to the comics, and then she released the movie. And then critics and everyone was like, "Oh, why did you do that? That's so like." I was like, "Wait," but this. She was like, "This is the Punisher character," and so I think it was not like critics didn't like it for that reason. So I can't really judge it, but I know it was really like real gruesome. And I think it had a lower budget as well, just because it's Punisher. I guess I could put it like right next to the other Punisher, but I don't have like a strong opinion to it. Darren, I don't know if you've seen this one either.
No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I don't have a super strong opinion on it either.
I'm assuming his
I
family
think
dies.
that's a good.
That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know which is it. I don't know which one it is, but like his son gives him a T-shirt of a skull. Is it the Travolta one?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's
Got
just leave
me.
it.
I just know in this one he was like he wasn't real bulky, but he had armor in this one.
Yeah, I liked his
actual
costume.
armor. Yeah. So I don't know.
All right, next up we got X-Men Origins.
Yay, the fourth
Wolverine.
movie in the
Yeah.
franchise.
This is just crap. I can't put it higher. I can't.
What? How dare you?
I think the what it was supposed to be, the idea of going back and do the origins, because they were going to do Magneto next. I think that idea was solid, but the execution was not great for me.
You don't like Ryan Reynolds with his mouth?
That's
That
the
was-
worst thing ever done in cinema.
That was really funny. Like looking, because I didn't know about Deadpool like that when the movie came out,
Mm.
and then later when I rewatched it, I was like, "That's so weird. Why did they go with that kind of design?" Like I know Eric's made a joke about this before, but like they literally just sewed the dude's mouth shut, and like he's just super talkative, and they just took one thing he does in the comics.
Yeah, you can't have the merc with the mouth without his mouth.
The
So
mouth.
it's pretty stupid.
I mean, they did give us that. I'll give them that. They gave us Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson.
I did like that at the intro part, the whatchamacallit, that sequence, the intro sequence with him going through the years. I really liked that,
Yeah, they did that really well.
and it's shot really well. You see him like in various points in time. That like that D-Day, the ship. That was that was a really nice sequence. But
liked
I
his
Don't
brothers, too.
know. Yeah, Sabretooth. I didn't know that we're gonna collide that, because I didn't know the character of Wolverine like that at the
Mm.
time. I mean, I would put it below the Last Stand with the third X-Men, but
Oh no, I'd put
Where
it
do you-
above
where do you think?
that. I'm not gonna.
Above
I'd
that?
put it above that just because. Yeah, Ryan
All right,
Reynolds.
Darren, any thoughts?
I think it's I think it can go just above that. I wouldn't.
Above-
I don't know how high you'd want to go with it, but yeah, I think.
I
it can
don't,
go just above.
well, for me, I don't want to put it high, but if you have another like opinion, maybe where you wanted to go,
I think it's fair right there.
it's fine right there.
Oh,
Okay.
What's the next one?
Ghost Rider, the second one.
This one is weak. This
Is
one
it
was
okay?
weak.
I don't see. I watched it, but I don't have a comparison to the first one.
Oh, it's like another devil character that comes to him, and
Oh,
he's like in Europe this time, which I don't. It's kind of a reboot, but like not really. Like we're assuming the same things went on in the first one, but it doesn't
That's weird.
say that.
Doesn't tie in at all.
Yeah, like it just.
It's just a movie, just to make a movie, I guess.
Yeah, it says Mustapha is Rourke, which is the villain as well. Who is? You remember Stephen Wolf? It's the same dude that played Stephen.
Oh, what?
Yeah, which is so.
Oh no, yeah, I
weird.
remember that. No, yeah. Okay, I think when the Snyder Cut came out, I think I looked that up.
Yeah, and it's like a kid, like a lady had a kid with him, and the devil's now after the kids start.
All right, so if it's worse, where do you
Whatever.
think you should go?
I don't know. I love Idris Elba, so I don't think I can put it that low.
You any like above the Fantastic Four, right next to Hulk,
No.
immediately after the first one?
I'd say like definitely after Spider-Man.
The original Spider-Man?
No.
Oh,
Spider-Man
right here?
3.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair.
You're
I think that's
crazy.
fair.
I'll watch
you
it
just said
over
Spider-Man.
Wolverine
You were specific.
any day, but like not that many times.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to the sort of the soft reboot, I guess you could say, of the X-Men franchise.
Ish.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit. So we're on to X-Men First Class. I have my thoughts, but I want to start with Darren. If you have anything to say to start.
I've not seen First Class.
Wow,
I'm very loose. I like the X-Men films. Like I remember watching.
Have you seen the later
earlier
ones?
No, you know what? I've seen Logan, and I've seen a little bit of the last one that just came out. What was the Phoenix one?
Okay. Okay.
I can't even remember. It was like a kind of a mess from what I saw, and then I heard mixed reviews.
From what you heard, yeah.
Yeah, no. So I don't know a whole lot on this one.
All right, Eric.
Amazing.
Anything? It's great. Yeah,
It's characters. Just they casted a young
Xavier's young Magneto.
Raven.
I would say, Darren, if you haven't seen like the later ones, I think this is the best one to watch.
Okay.
This is absolutely one of my favorite X-Men movies.
Mhm.
Definitely above the
Really?
original ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say anything too much, because we got Logan after, but it's still one of my
I was gonna
favorite
say,
ones.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
It goes back into the '60s as well. You got younger heroes, younger villains. Kevin Bacon's in this, and it's weird because I see only Kevin Bacon.
Hey, he's not bad though.
He's not a bad. No, I'm not. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying. To me, I just see Kevin Bacon. His performance is really good as like the
the Magneto story.
the Magneto type.
Really
Yeah,
good.
and like I know you briefly touched upon it a little bit in the first X-Men movie. And like I said, they were gonna do a X-Men Origins Magneto after Wolverine, supposedly, if that was gonna do really well. But they pushed it to this one with Matthew Vaughn, which I think was a really great choice for the director. So I would put it above Spider-Man, the 2.
Let me see. Where's that?
That's the top of A.
Oh, really? You put this that high, especially after the next one?
What next one?
The next one in this franchise.
Oh.
Because that
one,
you know what I mean?
It's a good movie, but I love First Class just because of what it is and what it's done.
I mean, it really doesn't have no flaws like that. Like, I don't. What can you pick apart about this movie?
First Class?
Yeah.
Nothing. What? No, I would say maybe like one thing I didn't like or was really really strange was the Kevin Bacon killed one of the X-Men characters who in the comics doesn't die.
Oh,
that was really weird. But I mean, if you where do you want to put it then?
I'd put it up there. I'm not gonna lie.
Above Spider-Man? You want to put okay.
It holds up. I mean,
I-
it looks good. It's a good story.
Good music too. I will
Time
say that, too.
period wise, yeah.
And they went classic costumes as well. So like,
Oh
you
yeah.
give it another one for that. All right, next up we have the Spider-Man reboot, The Amazing Spider-Man. Eric, do you want to start with this one?
You already know how I feel. You really want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely love it. I love the suit. They did their own thing on this one, but kept it red and blue. It looks like he actually like made this. Like a kid made this.
That's a big point of like, like not my issues with the first. Like I love the suit of the first one, but like it was never believable that he
Like,
made that suit
at all. Like he put sunglasses together. He sewed like shoes, ripped them apart, sewed it to the bottom.
Yeah, and
it was baggy.
I can tell you right now, I don't think I've ever told you this, Eric, but back in the day, I got one of those costumes. Like,
Did you?
But like I researched and like all the textures and everything, and the way cosplayers do it, or for the most part, they use like this like liquid acrylic paint that like it like hardens and it like keeps like the 3D shape. So it doesn't like harden to the point where like it's really solid and you can't move it, but like it forms really well. And they would just do really like small details like basketball like detail like that the things you have on the details on the basketball, and like it would go really like painstakingly like time consuming. I didn't really do that because I didn't have that version of that costume. I had the next one, but like that detail is really really cool. And you're right, it did do something really different and unique. Putting it next to the Raimi trilogy, it's definitely on its own in its own universe.
Yeah, it doesn't have to live up to anything. He started out with a different love interest, which is his original love interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out about his parents in this, Uncle
Which
Ben.
it never gets resolved.
Yeah.
It's the parent stuff. Uncle Ben, I don't think is as memorable.
But that was a prominent scene. Like Uncle Ben's not memorable, but the scene
Yeah, where he
It's
dies,
just
or he's
like-
talking about responsibility.
where he dies, I feel like that hit me harder than the first one.
Oh, because I think he's actively looking for him. You see him there.
Yeah.
Darren, what are your thoughts?
I think I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to see this one when it came out. If like that makes sense, like because I just liked. And when I was younger, I don't know because I forget when did this one come out?
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Okay, so like it was it was either like getting ready to go into high school. So I don't know. I'd grown up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, like as you guys did too. So it's like I didn't want to like accept like that there was a different Spider-Man. I didn't know about like studios and the things that went down with Spider-Man 4 and everything.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like I was like, that's not Spider-Man. Like who the hell is this guy? And I didn't. And I don't even a little bit to this day. I do think Andrew Garfield is solid as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I will say he is like people give Holland shit for being like too likable as Peter Parker, and I think that Andrew Garfield is almost like he's a good
to that level.
dude. I just think he's like if that's your criticism of Tom Holland, then like you should hate Andrew Garfield. Like I think it's a dumb criticism, but I think
I think people had that issue too back when the movie came out.
Yeah, but I think like if you judge it by like, oh, he can't be like this super smooth talking guy, like whatever as Peter Parker, then you wouldn't like Garfield. But I think he is extremely smooth. Like I think he like more so than Toby is like comfortable.
Yeah, he puts on the mask and he's able to do that, the quips and stuff.
Yeah, like Toby's are maybe they like when you first hear them are like a little jarring, and maybe that's part of what makes them a little bit funnier than they would be because he like is so
nerdy,
kind of bland and nerdy during Peter Parker. But I don't know. I thought Andrew Garfield did a good job. I think the movie is solid. Like I said before, I never ended up seeing the second one, so I think this one is pretty solid though.
All right. Now that being said, where do you guys want to add this to the list?
I'm not putting it above Blade, but like I'm gonna get like top B, maybe bottom A.
Oh, so in front of the first Spider-Man?
Yeah, I mean it just I thought he was a better Peter Parker than like he wasn't whiny compared to both of them, like Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire.
I wouldn't say he's as like superficial nerdy as like Tobey Maguire was, but I think his Spider-Man was more like Dan was saying, more confident in what his quips and what, his movement.
Well, it felt more organic, like he was actually having fun and actually like doing this. Like he skateboarded at some point, I think, and I was like, damn, like maybe he did do that, And then he like with Gwen, like he'd been through some stuff, you know what I mean? Like he seen his Uncle Ben die, and then Gwen's
leave.
dad, his parents disappeared, and then Gwen's dad died in front of him, like all for him. They all died for him at this point.
You're right. It is weird that he's less whiny.
And even though more stuff has happened. Yeah. So like Toby was whiny over a girl the entire time. He wasn't whiny over nothing. He was whining over one girl.
It's weird that I actually had, when I was watching that, I had your voice saying that to me too.
Cause like, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense. In this little whatever franchise, this double sequel movie, he's not whiny, but stuff has happened to him so you can understand how he is the way he is.
Darren, do you want to change the placement? Or you think it's
I mean,
solid?
I think it's fair. I mean, I'll let you be the tiebreaker because I would put it like beneath the other Spider-Man just because I think I do, like I was saying, I think I like Toby just a little bit more, but I definitely like see where people would really like Garfield. I definitely agree with like his Spider-Man, just like how he fits into that role is a lot more natural for sure. But I don't know, like the Peter Parker thing, like I'm not of the party that thinks like Peter Parker can't be a good-looking, smooth-talking guy. Like he's not allowed to be cool. Like I'm not against him being cool, but he definitely does sway a little bit to like if Andrew Garfield was at my high school, he's not getting picked on. Like there's no way in hell that Peter Parker would be getting made fun of. Like he's smart as fuck, he's cool, like he does all this shit. Like there's no way he would be the loser. Like
he's more. I think he was more silent. The reason he got picked on was because he was trying to help a kid not get picked on.
He wouldn't even get picked on. He just called him by his name, and the kid didn't like it. Like he stood up for him. You know what I mean? He was like, "Yo, put him down." Like, what are you doing?
He was just more the silent type, like keep it to himself. So yeah, I see what you mean.
But he was smart.
Yeah,
they showed that side too.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will say the mechanical web shooter, that effect is really cool too. like that smoke, that puff of air is really cool.
Yeah.
So you're the tiebreaker, Dan. You get to choose where it goes.
I feel bad because like you said, I did grow up on the original, but I didn't. I think I watched the Amazing Spider-Man maybe like around the time the sequel came out, or maybe like 2-3 months before the sequel came out. I wasn't really like hyped for it, but when I watched it, I was like, I didn't hate it. Like I really enjoyed, I think specifically the performance of how he was more energetic as Spider-Man. I think I'm gonna leave it right here. It would like switch it a little bit. I think putting Amazing after the original. But I definitely agree with both of you guys. All right, let's move on to the Wolverine, set in Japan, right?
A feudal Japan. No, it's now.
No, it's well, it deals with. I really like that opening, by the way, where he's during like World War II, where he saves a Japanese soldier, which later, quote unquote, tries to help him, but like really in reality tries to steal his ability to heal. And that's one of the things I really liked about this movie, the fact that his healing factor is failing. He's vulnerable. So I think at that point was not really made in the movie prior, in the X-Men Origins, because that's where when he gets the adamantium. But like he's really vulnerable here. Eric, what do you think?
What do I think about the 5th Wolverine movie in the franchise?
Yeah.
like at this point, I'm not gonna lie to you. When coming in to watch this movie, I was like, "What's going on with the timeline?" Because we got one,
Yeah, First Class, and
we got X-Men 1, but then United, then The Last Stand, then they came in with what? First Class,
X-Men Origin. No, it was Origins, then First Class.
Origins, which timeline was before X-Men, which was Wolverine, First Class, which was before that too. And coming in this was the first one after X-Men 3.
I guess you could say that. In
Yeah,
that
that's
main
how they
timeline, I
marketed
think
it.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember watching this movie in theaters. I was so excited for this movie. So I went out with Chrissy. Actually, it's funny because I saw it with her. I went out with Chrissy, and it was like we went to movies a lot when we were first dating. We were in high school, so we went out. We went to Red Robin. They had a Wolverine burger. I automatically got that. That was right behind the movie theater. So it's funny as hell. We did that. Went, saw the movie. I saw this movie, and I promise there is nothing wrong with this movie. he is ruthless. He's a samurai. I don't think I could pick anything apart except for the fact that they didn't give him a suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when that deleted scene was they showed that suit, but
yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
he was vulnerable. His villains were great.
We got Madam Viper. Is it just
Viper? I think it was like Viper.
It was Viper.
You had Jean haunting him from death. He was like, he didn't want to kill no more. That bear scene where he like killed the bear but didn't want to do it because he wouldn't harm an innocent. And then and
he was drinking Stanley beer or something like that. That was cool.
And then he got his premonition of you're gonna die with your heart in your hand, which comes back.
Oh yeah, dude.
It just. I think it's a really good movie. Who was it? James Mangold? Yeah. He did a really good job bringing Wolverine to where we all wanted him and where he needed to be as a hero. Like what we expected. Cause all the other movies are a little bit too short, you know what I mean? At this point he knew who he was as a person and what he did. And he found it, even though he was broken, which I understand, he found himself.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this is one of the best. This is S tier to me.
Okay.
I love this movie, dude. I think I own it on Steelbook.
What else? How many things do we want to put in S? Because I feel I don't know if there's maybe 2 other things I would put in S.
I have no idea. When I got here, I was like, damn, this is S.
I see. I mean, for me, I think there's maybe two other ones, or maybe
2 other ones?
Maybe 3 max, but that would be stretching it.
Ooh. So you would put you put this above First Class, Eric?
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Dan? What are you thinking?
I've watched it a good amount of times, but I think Eric's more, not excited, but just his thoughts about it are probably more in an S tier. I think I would probably put it, just hearing them talk about. I think I would put it in A, top of A, right before First Class, just because it is a really great movie. And one of the things I really liked, also I forgot to mention, was that train action sequence. That speeding bullet was really cool. But yeah, I just really I feel the both times that Wolverine has been vulnerable, it's done really well storytelling wise, and it ends up being really good. So I think I will say top of A. But I can leave it at S. If we got to move stuff around, we can move stuff around. Is it okay, or do you want to
bottom S
say anything? All right. Next up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2, or as people call it, TASM 2.
TASM? Who says that?
Yeah. It's abbreviations. I've heard it a lot of times.
That?
I don't know.
I need to know specifically because I'm gonna have a word with them.
Darren, you said you haven't seen this one, right?
This one I have not seen. No.
Okay. Eric.
Yes.
I had you start with Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Do you want to start
Mhm.
with this one? Or do you want me to start?
I mean, if you want to, you can start since I started last one.
Okay. So a good friend of ours, is named Brandon. He asked me for my an account that I have where I have this movie, and I bought it because he wanted to watch it, and he says he's watched it many times, and since that, I've also watched it a good amount of times, and I definitely feel like this is. I think when I watched it back then, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this, just because of like the villain overload. But like looking back at it, it's a decent movie, but like there's a lot of things that are like packed into it. The score was really good. The costume, I think, was one of the more standout things of this franchise. Yeah, and I think Andrew Garfield really like he like steps up a little more as well with his Spider-Man quips and him being like literally just a friendly hero to. I think he has like a sequence with a kid fixing his art project or something, or science project. So I really liked it. I don't know where I want to put it though. Eric, what do you think?
This is the best Spider-Man movie ever made so far.
Okay. I still think the Green Goblin really like holds it back. That and the Sinister Six like push forward really holds it back for me.
Yeah, because they were thinking of too far ahead. I get it. So Electro as the villain, 100% get. All right.
Exactly.
Alexi doing what he did in the beginning, I get that. They could have just kept that part and not the back half of it for the Rhino.
Yeah, I guess you could have done like maybe like him already as the Rhino at the beginning and he stops him and that's it.
I mean, either or.
Yeah, but nothing at the end.
Yeah, either or.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. The fact that you had so many villain origin stories in this one, that like, it's kind of...
It's too much. It felt like Spider-Man 3 again.
It did, like, because the studio interfered heavy on this one with adding 3 villains again and what they wanted. Electro, I love Electro. The fact that Jamie Foxx is like a super nerd and like he does all this stuff, and he just wants people to like notice him. And when Spider-Man gives him attention, he's like, "Oh yeah, Spider-Man." He stands up for Spider-Man and everything. Yeah, and then with Harry coming back because his dad died, that was a good story. I love a good story,
but I feel like the Green Goblin thing was
just
a little too much.
Little bit. Because Harry was acting wild.
It's so weird too, because I just remember they also introduced Black Cat, but not the cat like costume, but like just Felicia.
I did. Yeah, you're right. I don't.
So I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's definitely enjoyable, and I've definitely watched it probably more times than I have seen The Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
The like I said, that costume is really good, and the Peter's relationship with Gwen, although it's a little bit rocky at the beginning of the movie. The fact that they dated in real life also like helps that chemistry out.
Yeah, but that was like one of the best suits I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah, and it's still one of the more iconic suits.
And once again, it's baggy to where like you can see it. You know what I mean? Like when he's
like flutter in the sky,
in the wind.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Oh, I don't know, man. Gwen died.
Yeah.
Gwen, he killed his girl, and this man gave up on life. I get it. Now I get it. You can be whiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he was whiny. Once again, he was whiny. But that's because he didn't want Gwen to die, because he saw her father die and then said, "I promised him I wouldn't let this happen to you."
Much like Jean Grey, he had a Force ghost, Gwen's dad, appearing in his life.
Yeah, I think he had a reason to be whiny in this one, and he had a reason to be the way he was. And then Harry, man,
I don't know if it should have been like, Electro here, Green Goblin next movie, Gwen dies next movie. Like that's the final thing. That's where like he I think that's a good way to cap it off. But I think putting in the second one just again, you pushing two things at the same time. It
I mean,
feels very conflicting.
they also casted MJ and then cut her out,
Oh, completely.
like completely from the movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they already were all in with like 8 villains in the movie, and then you're gonna cut like the one love interest with that you know what I mean? Like that was his
Yeah.
neighbor, so I get it.
So, what do you think? Above first one? Above the
I
or
believe
after?
this is my favorite movie. I can watch it all the time, but I
Yeah,
know it's not.
No,
Yeah, it's after. It's after. I
after
know
after
what
the
it
first
is.
one. Okay, that makes sense.
No.
It's a really good looking suit. Like if we can like
Yeah,
stay here
I
all day talking about it. All right, next up we have Days of Future Past, combining First Class and in the original X-Men universe. For the first time, I guess. And I don't think I've seen this too
not either.
recently.
What?
But I did watch it. And it was really weird because I remember there was like a trailer at the end of Spider-Man. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Darren, so like at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, like as a
Yes.
post credits,
They had like
Um,
their deal going on with them.
yeah.
First. It was weird.
I don't know for what. I think it was like a movie that Sony and Fox were co-releasing or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't remember, but like the
For
deal
Mark
was
Webb.
Oh yeah, it was director. It was something involving the director. They were like, okay, fine. We'll keep the deal. Well, the deal is you're gonna put a trailer to Days of Future Past at the end of your movie. And it was because I remember watching Amazing Spider-Man like at the midnight screening, and I'm like, I wonder if there's gonna be something at the end. So I stay and it's just Days of Future Past. I'm like, what the heck? I never thought these things would like collide like this. So okay, yeah. I mean, Eric, you said that you like this more than First Class, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you want to put it right above that?
Yep.
Okay, I think I agree. I think for this conversation, I can see where you say, but I also feel like there's a lot more moments because of nostalgia that Days of Future Past works. You know, because you got the original cast, you got original Iceman coming back. Also, I don't think you got Rogue at all, right? There was the Rogue cut, but it was kind of unfortunate you didn't see her. So I don't know.
She was, I think, for like 5 seconds at the end when everything got rebooted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think the deal was that she was gonna take over Kitty Pryde, and like take her powers for a bit and like help maintain Wolverine.
Yeah,
and
they were
stuff.
like going back and forth.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of her. I think I get. Well, we have the Rogue cut, so I guess I could watch that.
Mhm.
But again, it collides those two universes together. I think it works for the most part, considering the fact that First Class was supposed to be its own thing. But I think these two are definitely the strongest part of the later X-Men movies, like the team. I think we can skip this one, which is the Fantastic Four reboot, and just put it at the very end.
I love it. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Darren, have you seen this?
I have seen it and it's awful.
At least put it in front of Punisher. God, you ain't even seen those.
Really? I
And it
don't.
has Michael B. Jordan in it.
It does. I know it's a fantastic cast.
It is.
It's a
good
waste
cast.
of a cast, man.
like with what's it called? Dr. Storm. He was good.
oh
I'll give
yeah,
it
that
that.
actor was really good.
He was good. That dude. He was on Luke Cage.
He's Luke Cage. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think he passed away after the
yeah,
premiere
right
of Luke
after
Cage.
that. That's why he never came back. I don't think.
Yeah, but like he did a good job in Fantastic Four. I think the issue was just like the writing and the rewriting, and that like it's a good cast. I know people were mad at Michael B. Jordan, but like I think it really works, and I'm really sad that we were not able to see that kind of cast be in a better movie. All right, next up, Deadpool. Eric and I have strong feelings about.
We
But-
like Deadpool.
You guys
Yeah.
love it or don't love it?
No,
we
like
love
it. But I think there's
I was
just
gonna say,
at
I
a
love
certain
it.
point in our lives there was just a giant overhaul of like Deadpool content coming. So I was like, we kind of he's a little bit too much at a certain point. But I did really like the first one more than the second one, just based on story, like the fact that Tim Miller did so much with so little budget.
Yeah.
So I've really liked it. And it's really solid. Well, what do you think, Darren?
I mean I love it. It's honestly I think it's so weird. I didn't see it in theaters, and I didn't one of my friends had like he had bought it on online, and I didn't even watch it. One of my friends, like I was at a friend's house like staying the night, and I like didn't even watch the movie with them. Like I went in a different room, and like I had no interest in seeing it. Like I didn't care. And then someone was telling me about it like days after, and was like, "Yeah, man, the Deadpool movie was kind of weird. He was talking to the camera and stuff, blah blah blah." Blah. And I'm like, "Isn't that what Deadpool is though? Like, he breaks the fourth wall all the time." And so then I went, and I just because of that conversation was like curious, and I watched it, and I loved it, dude. Like I like absolutely loved it. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Like there's no way around
Yeah.
that. I love the way it like catches you up. Like I love the way the movie starts, like the pacing of it, how it brings you back to that moment, and then how it concludes everything. I think it's
It
just
goes back and
phenomenal.
forth with that bridge sequence. I think that's
Mhm.
again that's a really non-linear storytelling that really works for that movie.
Yeah,
What am I gonna say? The Colossus also. He looks
it's
really good.
hilarious. He was hilarious.
Eric.
Oh, I love the movie 100%. I thought he did a good job. The dude who played Weasel, I forget his name at the moment. He was so funny.
He's
Ajax was great villain, like real down
I feel like they
street.
made him very like B movie kind of like not B movie but like very like predictable in the most fourth wall kind of way.
Who, Deadpool or Ajax?
No, Ajax. Just because like I wouldn't say he's like very well known, so they kind of just brought him like, yeah, just make him like swords. Like we'll just have a fight sequence here.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's the only way they can go up
Yeah,
against
but
Deadpool. You can't have anyone with powers on like the
Yeah.
first go. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Where would you rank it though, Darren?
I mean, I think it's S tier. Didn't it like beat out? Wasn't there an Avengers film that came out the same year, and it like beat that out in the box office?
Age of Ultron. That's the only one I can think of.
Was it?
No,
Or it
no,
was
it
some.
was-
I know it was huge, and I know it. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and I know a lot of people were
I don't
like
think it
skeptical
made a
about it.
lot of money. Like as
It
much
made a
money
ton
as
of money.
it made a good amount of money for an R-rated movie. I don't think it made like Avengers money.
It made
I-
more money than any R-rated
Didn't he
movie
s-
at the time.
Didn't
Yeah,
he
I think
say
that's
in
what
the
it is.
second movie though? I thought he made a joke about him selling more. Because I remember it was like because he was like shitting on Disney and Marvel.
I
Studios.
don't remember. Maybe
In
it's
the
just him
second
making the
movie,
joke.
maybe.
I don't
But yeah,
remember.
might have just been making a joke.
Because that came out in 2016. The only thing that was there was Civil War and
Age of Ultron was
Doctor
15.
Strange.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't say it's S tier for me. I would probably put it like maybe after Blade or before Amazing Spider-Man.
I don't know. It has watch factor for me, but because of what's diluted for me.
Yeah.
You know why? That's why I'm biased towards it a lot. Like I enjoy the movie though.
Like I said this many times, I think Deadpool's good in small quantities.
I don't know. Maybe in between one of those Spider-Mans, yeah.
It's right here.
Break
I-
up the Spidey action.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's fine. Darren, are you okay with it?
Yeah, I mean,
You wanna-
for me personally, I would rank it higher. But if we're taking like an average of everybody's, I think that's a fair assessment. I just love Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he works.
Totally, that
really,
energy is
really
really
hard.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he like in an interview said that they write, and I think he does like 3 takes for like every joke, and then they choose, like he chooses which one like he thinks is the funniest.
Yeah,
So
and
like
I-
every single quip is like 3. He comes up with 3 completely unique things, and then he like ends up deciding which one he thinks is the best.
Yeah, I think Weasel did the same thing.
Yeah. I was watching
and
outtakes earlier,
It's
that's funny.
it's a good thing that like that the test footage was leaked.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if it was Ryan Reynolds who supposedly leaked it or if it was someone in the studio who leaked it, but like that really created a good effect for the following movies and stuff for Deadpool. Next we have X-Men Apocalypse. I don't think you've seen this one, Darren.
I have not.
I've seen this once.
I've seen them a lot.
It's we've neglected to mention Quicksilver's introduction in Days of Future Past, which was really well done. I don't know about the team necessarily in Apocalypse, like the younger team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not super against it.
I mean, it was the one that we know in the original X-Men. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's them, but like younger and different cast. I'm like I said, I'm not gonna badmouth the cast. I think they did a good job with the characters, but the villain they hear was weak. The
Oscar Isaac. I feel like the writing was just weak.
Yeah, and this is right after Days of Future Past, and I thought it would have been a really good idea, like after time meddling with time, bringing in Apocalypse, but it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just felt too grounded for what Apocalypse was. Where would you want to put it, Eric?
I mean, it's another Bryan Singer.
Yeah. Put it right next to.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Where?
I'd put it above Ghost Rider. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it had good concepts, but it was bad. Not that Ghost Rider.
Which one?
No,
this one?
Under the other Ghost Rider. The first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before that one?
No, behind it. You can put it behind it.
I don't know. I think this is better. I think Apocalypse is definitely.
C?
Yeah. First X-Men's more enjoyable than the Apocalypse.
I don't know, dude. Hold on, let me see who else is in it. I'm trying to think.
I mean, we got the returning First Class cast, and we got Archangel in this. What's her face? Storm came in here.
Storm. We got Cyclops.
I didn't like that end battle. I think it was just kind of
that. Yeah, that was
weak. I don't know.
It was.
What do you think then?
Yeah, like behind X-Men and C. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's fine. You see, like concepts like it could have been better.
It looked
all right,
way
next
good.
Up. Good. Next up, Logan. I know we've all seen this.
No.
I've also seen the black and white version.
That's so bad. So have I. I have a steelbook for this one.
Where do you think it ranks up in here?
A.
A?
Yeah, it's got to be towards the top.
It's definitely A.
I don't know.
Last outing.
I feel like it should be above the Wolverine. I definitely love this more than the Wolverine.
Yeah, I think it could go as. I mean, I didn't see I think that was the one I didn't see was the other Wolverine one, but I think this one's pretty dope.
I mean, I liked it, but like it. I don't know. It was rated R. I give them that.
Yeah. It was a Western style Wolverine movie. I know it wasn't a direct adaptation of Old Man Logan, but I think it had very solid action sequences, even though it was very like spread out. You got one of the great opening with him like cutting like the robbers up, like we're stealing his limousine. We got the end battle. We got the battle with his clone, not the girl, but the Hugh Jackman clone, and also that father daughter relationship. I think was handled really well. It was really emotional. I really enjoyed the fact that Professor X was the one to kill all the X-Men or mutants. I think that just makes sense where the universe was at, where we got Cerebro and everything, and I think that just makes a lot of sense. It's okay, fine. It's definitely high up there. If we want to keep it at like a top of A, I'd be fine with it. I'm just saying, to me, it's I would watch it over.
It's crazy. Like I've only seen this maybe like a handful of times. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I can watch it.
It's a little hard to watch sometimes.
No, it's just a little slower with the story. Like, don't get me wrong, story is great. It's just a little bit slower compared to everything else.
All right, I can see that. Darren, what do you think? Keep it like how it is?
I think that's fair. That's a good spot for it.
Okay. I'm gonna rewatch this again, but I really enjoy. But well, we can move on to Deadpool 2. Not as great as the original, but I love the inclusion of Domino and Cable. But I'm gonna start with Darren just because I think Eric has already planned on what he wants to say.
I really liked it. When I saw it, I originally thought it was a lot better than the original, in my opinion. I just thought I thought it was, in the first, the first 20 minutes, dude, I think I cried laughing and cried because I was sad, 5 different, up and down. And then the same with the ending. I really liked it. I really liked a lot about it. And I think, I don't know. I think the jokes, some of the jokes were even funnier, and I thought, I agree. I think the inclusion of Domino and Cable is really cool. I especially one of my favorite lines in both of the Deadpools is just when he's pump the hate brakes, Thanos, and just the fact that he calls him Thanos in the movie, because it's while he's playing Thanos. I don't know, just so funny, so meta.
And we would definitely get that in the MCU, all those casting jokes and everything.
That's what I cannot wait for that, dude. It's gonna be fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I originally thought it was a ton better. Now after I've watched both of them probably 10 or so times, I think that the gap isn't as large as I thought it was. I still do think it was better than the first one, though, in my opinion.
Okay. Eric, where do you see it as?
I liked it a lot better than the first one too. I'm not gonna lie.
So you want to place it right before the first one?
The fact that he voiced Deadpool and Juggernaut, I'd put it
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's in that. I forgot.
Yeah. That's really good. I didn't expect Juggernaut to be the villain either, because technically I feel like that was the main villain.
Yeah, because he caused a lot of issues.
Yeah, it was
he was
Cable,
the one you could
was
punch.
The little boy, then it was the little boy in Juggernaut.
Yeah, and then it was the guy experimenting on the other mutants.
It was just people are evil.
Yeah.
It was that thin line.
So where you guys want to place it?
I don't know. It's in my book, and it seems like you agree as well, Eric, that I think it should be above the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know how far above.
I don't either, because I don't know if it's better than the original Spider-Man. But it might be a little bit better than the Amazing Spider-Man.
Maybe in between those.
Yeah.
In between, so we're breaking up Spider-Man again.
Yeah, 100% with Deadpool again.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Venom.
D.
Yes. No.
Look. No. I'm gonna explain to you why, though. I'll do this one first. I'll explain to you why. This is a good movie if you do not look at it as a comic book movie. If you look at it the same way you're looking at the original Spider-Man with
or
Tobey
even
Maguire,
the Amazing Spider-Man,
or anything that's not a comic book movie, it's a good movie. But if we're putting in a list with comics and original ideas and whatever, okay, maybe. But it just wasn't. I don't see Venom being like that. I don't see Eddie being the way he is. Because Eddie was real, from what we got, he was an asshole, a real asshole. And he, I think the problem is Peter Parker, that might be the real problem, that they don't have a Spider-Man in here. Yeah.
I guess I can see that. He is. Have you read or seen anything from Venom in the 90s?
No.
So he's more like that. He's more anti-hero wacky Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Because they even put in the joke of him eating chocolate, because he had that as well in the comics. And while I didn't like that and I wasn't a fan of that, when I watched it, it felt like they did the funny bits and like it was like the comedy bits were accidental. Like it happened and they were like, oh, we'll just run with that, and they kind of had the little happy accident for themselves. But that's my opinion. That's Eric's opinion. Sorry, Darren, have you seen this?
Yeah, I liked it. I think Eric brings up a good point. It's like a movie. I do think it's like it's just an enjoyable film. I don't know like a whole lot about Venom. I used to like watch like the Spider-Man cartoons and stuff. So the character development was not very deep in those, or at least in some of them. But like I agree that he also is like that universe. Like they didn't know if they're gonna have a Spider-Man or not eventually. So I think they were trying to maybe give him more redeemability so that he's like more of a hero as opposed to swaying too far the other way than maybe most people would like. But I think like as a film, like it's enjoyable. It's I think he does really well. I think Tom Hardy does a really good job playing Eddie Brock and being Venom in the way that this movie sets out to portray him as. I think it's good. I think the humor is solid too. So I don't know. I think this could hold up. I wouldn't. It feels a little bit more like an MCU film, just like slightly off, if that like makes sense. It kind of feels like a slightly off MCU film.
It's really funny that you say that because like they named this like MCU adjacent like that in Morbius.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, from the studio that brought you Far From Home and Homecoming. Yeah. Like that's gonna do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
So, Dan, where would you say you want to put it?
I mean, I wouldn't go as low as D because I would watch this over probably
all
anything in the D tier. Yeah, and I mean, probably most of the C tier. I don't know that. Like, I would probably put it like towards the beginning of the
like X-Men. Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah, like either above
so you want it
like right
above.
After.
All right, where do you guys want it?
Well, dealer's choice.
Am I the deal breaker?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it after.
Perfect.
Just because maybe it's because I came into it like not wanting to like it. I think that's my issue with it.
I thought it was weird.
Yeah, I came into it with a similar mindset. I didn't want to like it either, just because I hate the stupid studio beef, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Sony, like I shouldn't like feel bad, like I shouldn't care if people like want everything to be under one umbrella, because it's like, dude, F Disney, they own everything. Like,
right.
We're trying to make money too, type of thing. Whatever, I get it, but there is just a part of me that just like, as a fan of all these characters, like you just want to see. I feel like they've done a really solid job in the MCU, and I feel like I definitely was bitter going into it, being like, I'm so pissed that this isn't connected to blah blah blah. And then like I watched it, and I actually was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was really well done.
I think also because like we had Venom twice already, and like one was a mixed bag, the other one was more positively well received. The obviously the newer one. So, but like I said, I didn't really go in wanting to like it, and I think it was the fact that why do this if Spider-Man's not going to be in it? Like, it's very strange because their paths cross so much so that like it's just weird to not have him.
Yeah, I mean,
like I would really like to see that spider too, that symbol on him.
Yeah, that's true. I think too they have to like decide. I think this next Venom film will have to like. I think Carnage is going to have like a really big impact on him to like maybe steer him towards, especially if they're gearing up to bring Tom or whatever, any version of a Spider-Man in their universe, like, because that'll be the biggest thing for them and Venom. Then I feel like they do have to make Venom a little bit more towards like a villainy side of him. Like they're like, maybe Carnage will, and whatever happens in this film will sort of drive his character to maybe in beating Carnage, he has to do some shit that most people would deem as like irredeemable, and maybe it would drive him towards that side. So then it would actually make sense for him to interact with Spider.
That's interesting. I definitely
he's too much of a hero if they won't. It'll just be like two guys. Like they're just gonna be like, hey, we're both good guys. Let's let's just hang then. Why are we gonna fight? There's no reason for us to fight.
And like, what it's gonna be funny, like if like we have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man interacting with Tom Holland, be like, yeah, if you ever interact with any like Venom like goo, don't even touch it. And then then we have Tom Hardy coming into the picture, it's like, hi, it's like, oh, that's the thing you were warning me about.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, we got one last Spidey film, which is the first ever animated thing that we have in this list. So it's the Spider-Verse movie, Into the Spider-Verse.
First and only.
Yeah, I was gonna say only, but I was trying to look at the list. So I assume everyone's seen it, right? Darren, have you seen it?
Yeah, I feel like you should start first because you love this movie. I love this movie, but you love it more.
So I mean, Eric's bringing up a good point. I love the character of Miles Morales, and bringing in Miles to be the main Spider-Man, like have him be the protagonist, was one of the coolest things they could have done for this movie. Like they could have easily just been like, okay, it's Peter Parker, and then he's gonna go into the multiverse. But they did it. They flipped the table, and it's not necessarily a Peter-centric Spider-Man movie. It was Miles Morales, and the fact that they had to change him too, because I understand that there's some things that Tom Holland has that borrows a lot from Miles Morales. The fact that he's young and he has a friend, not Harry, but he has a different kind of a friend in his life, so borrowing that, they had to reinvent Miles Morales, and I think the reinvention really helped him be this very unique character, with the whole like the artistic the side of him, the spray paint, the just like this really free kind of character that he ends up becoming, like really also hits with the Miles Morales game, very like free flowing in his movement and stuff. I really like that, and like this is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies because it like has that message of like, it's one of the things that Stan Lee says, in the costume shop, is like it never fits, or something, like it always ends up fitting, that your costume always ends up fitting, and obviously it's played off as a joke, but like it really continues on in the journey of the character when he finally suits up in his version, I guess, the spray painted version.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I really like about this film. I like his relationship with his uncle. I thought was super dope, and I like especially him becoming like a villain, and then everything that kind of ends up going down with that towards the end of the film. It definitely, I don't know. I thought that it was honestly like, but I was way more emotional about it than I thought I would have been going into this movie.
Right.
I heard really good things, and 'cause I didn't watch this when it came out. I watched it on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix for a while.
Yeah, I think it was Christmas, one of the Christmases.
Yeah, and so I watched it on Netflix, like on just I don't even know, just some random night of the week, which is like, oh, I'm gonna just check this out. I've heard good things, and yeah, it was really good. I thought the stuff, and like you said, I think it's interesting, and really like refreshing that it wasn't just like a Peter Parker story for Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
but I also thought that the inclusion of Peter Parker added to the story in the way that like they wrapped up his arc and things. I actually thought that was a super cool way to do that and to go about that character, where like it didn't like cheat the movie, but because like if you wouldn't have acknowledged him being there, or if he would have just been like a sidekick and like completely sucked, like that wouldn't have made sense, because it would have been like kind of undermining him. But I think they did a really good job of like doing him justice while also like ushering in Miles to like become his own hero, and I thought that was really cool.
Right. I fully agree with that. Like, even though Peter was not the main focus, he still had something to do, with just an older version, and like that, the fact that they help each other out, they help each other learn a lesson, also is really cool. Eric, what do you think?
You know what I'm here for. I'm always here for the voice cast and who's actually voicing everybody. And Shamik Moore voices Miles Morales. I love Shamik Moore. He's in Wu-Tang Clan. Can't wait for that to come back in 9 days or 7 days, something like that. He's so good. He does a good job of capturing Miles, because I think before this the only thing with Miles I had was
Donald
Ultimate
Glover?
Spider-Man.
Yeah. It was Donald Glover.
Yeah, and that's who was voiced by. It was really good. Jake Johnson voiced Peter B. Parker. You know, they had what's his name?
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, the other Chris voicing this version, this universe is Peter Parker. Haley Steinfeld voiced Gwen Stacy. Mahershala Ali, our next Blade, voicing Uncle Aaron. Nicolas Cage.
yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
And we also got other inclusions like another X-Men alumni, Leaf Schreiber voicing Kingpin.
I thought that was.
I forget that he's Sabretooth and
it doesn't sound
Kingpin
like
at the same time. I know it doesn't.
And yeah, like I give them that. They did a good job.
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn's Doc Ock, the female version, that she did a good job. I didn't even know until like recently.
Yeah, I think after WandaVision we found that out. Or I found it. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. But they the music's good. That's good.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Really good too.
The art style in which they did this is really good. Like I read somewhere recently too that apparently who was it? Miles Morales' frames were slower than everybody else's, and it was on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to figure out his way, and he didn't know anything yet, but everyone else knew. And by the end, he's caught up with everybody. That like the amount of like effort they put into this is like crazy for it being an animated film.
Yeah, and like it's the rewatchability is good. It has a good message as well.
Yeah.
Where would you guys want to put it?
S.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think
100%. But where in S?
Where in S? That's the question.
It's better than Wolverine.
Okay. Yep.
But like I would say all these movies are in their own class. They're all different.
Yeah.
S tier wise. You know what I mean?
Do we want to leave it in mid?
We can leave it there. Yeah. I can't say S tier though that they're all better than each other.
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. This S tier is like very like different.
Yeah, S tier. I feel like once it's in S tier, it's just like there's no like ranking. Like, you can't rank the S tiers against each other. Like like they just are. You know.
Yeah.
All right. We got. Next up, we have. What is it? Dark Phoenix? I think it's just Dark Phoenix. There's no X-Men.
It was X-Men Dark Phoenix, and they changed it to Dark Phoenix, which is like, what? That's your selling. That's your brand, X-Men. So why are you being weird?
Okay, all right. Darren, you've seen this, right? Or parts of it.
This is the one I saw like the first half of or whatever. And it was I remember like the trailers leading up to it when I forget which movie I was going to see in theater. Was it Endgame?
You might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like 2019.
Yeah. I remember being in the theater, like getting ready to watch Endgame and watching this trailer and being like, yeah, I don't really want to see that. I don't know why. Like, it was just kind of like, I was like, okay, it looks like they're just getting ready to end. You know, they know that, because I think that was like right when they had been bought by Disney.
Yeah, they were like, just release it. What's whatever.
They're like, who gives a shit? We just need to get whatever we can, you know, like, because they would get that money before Disney would. So yeah, I don't know. It was, you know, kind of a mixed bag. I've heard some people really love it, and I heard other people really hate it. So,
Eric,
it's all right, but it's bad. Like, And like I will say, you know, I can watch anything. Like I'll watch it and be like, give it a chance and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
they reuse so much from what's The Last Stand, and like, why are you revisiting a same story, technically in the same continuity, but earlier?
Earlier in the
And you're
90s?
and you're messing up your own continuity to where does this go? You know what I mean? And then like they killed her off again.
Again, yeah.
So you
It's
did all
wha-
that casting just to kill her off again?
Look, I didn't watch it, but I know that they had to change certain things. I think there was really going to
Yeah.
be scrolls in this movie.
I remember that.
Is that alien that is it Jessica Chastain?
Yeah.
I always mix her up with another.
Bryce Dallas.
Yeah, I think so.
That is.
But yeah, I mean, she was supposed to be a scroll, I believe. There's a lot of things that were changed. But it just, I didn't watch it, but I just know people don't like this. And it's understandable. They just released it to release it. So I mean, but where do we want to put it? That's the question.
D tier for sure.
Yeah, but like, is it
Behind
more
the Punisher.
watchable?
No. Well, I can watch it more than Fantastic Four. I can definitely. I don't know if I'd put it in between like Wolverine and like The Last
Fantastic
Stand.
Four is boring to me. I can't.
I mean,
can't
I like the concept of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
They
yeah, I
just didn't
know.
execute it well.
All right, so we've reached our final movie. Question: anybody has seen the New Mutants?
Me.
You have.
Oh.
Okay. Darren, have you?
haven't. No, I
You
have
haven't?
not.
Okay. I have not either.
Oh man.
Eric, why don't you tell us a little
I
bit about
loved it. It was a new generation of X-Men that got brought in, and it was not like they approached it at like a different way to where it's a bunch of broken kids that are all have powers,
it? Right. Yeah.
but it's like the worst of powers. You know what I mean? Like they're looking at it from like the bad point of view, and then they're in this like institution that like a psych fucking Arkham Asylum type
Yeah.
place. So they're in there and they're trapped in there, and they can only do stuff in between all there, and it's only like 6 of them plus the doctor. I think it was really good. They did good casting, but I don't think it got the traction that they wanted. Like
right.
I
And it
think
came
at
out
this
at
point,
the same time around the Fox buyout.
yeah, well, no, that they made this before, and then they were talking about getting bought. Then they did reshoots. Then they kept pushing it back and kept pushing it back and kept pushing it back until finally they released it. But like, it's a really good movie if you really watch it. I think it's good, like, because I look at it as not going in as a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Not like
And was it
Venom,
very
it's
horror centric as well?
It was not PG-13 horror. Like, have you seen?
Okay.
I know you haven't seen it. Like Insidious or something like that. Like The
Oh, I've seen
Conjuring.
Insidious.
Okay, so it's
first
something
one.
like that, to where it's like jump scares here and there, and it's
Okay.
not real deep into horror. But
I know
there's
that trailer was really like centered on being like, this is a really creepy story. With
yeah,
mutants.
yeah, and it has Pink Floyd, The Wall. I love that song. That's why I like the trailer. I was like, oh god, I love it.
So where do you want to put it then?
See.
Where in C?
What
do you think?
Under Venom?
Oh, Undervent? Okay.
Yeah, maybe. It's fine.
All right. Well, that pretty much just rounds out the tier list. Should I go through it all or just leave it like that? Because I feel like it's a good amount to go
I mean,
to
yeah,
go
you
through.
can.
I mean, we've done it in the past. I'll just do it real quick. So we have in S tier, we have the Blade sequel, Into the Spider-Verse, and the Wolverine. In A,
Sequel.
we have Logan, Days of Future Past, First Class, Spider-Man 2, and the first Blade movie. In B, we have Original Spider-Man, Deadpool 2, Amazing Spider-Man, Deadpool 1, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, X2, Blade, Trinity, and Ghost Rider. C tier, we have the original X-Men, then Venom, New Mutants, X-Men Apocalypse, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer?
Yeah.
Okay, I get confused because of the Rise
I
of
hope.
Electro.
I hope.
And then we have original Fantastic Four, Hulk, and then Daredevil. Next up in D tier, we have Spider-Man 3, Ghost Rider 2, The Spirit of Vengeance, X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men The Last Stand, Punisher, or The Punisher, the Travolta one. Then the Fantastic Four 2015.
Oh God! Don't
Then Punisher Warzone, Dark Phoenix, and then lastly in Didn't Watch we have the very first Punisher movie, and then Elektra.
I can't believe we have Spider-Man 3 so low though.
You know
I feel
what?
like that's the only one I have a problem with at the moment.
Looking at it, I feel like when I was saying it out loud, I'm like, yeah, it is really low, but I don't know where to like.
I mean,
put it
maybe
in
like
place.
above Daredevil. Because I don't like.
You know what? Yeah, we can put.
Because
it above
you
Daredevil.
can rewatch
I
that no
agree.
matter what.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move it up to Daredevil. Keep Daredevil there. Yeah. Right. No, we didn't have to move
Yeah,
that.
sure.
All right.
I don't know.
So that just
I don't know.
just changing it up a little bit.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jeez.
So that's pretty much the Marvel Legacy movies, and only movies because we definitely didn't include any TV shows.
Yeah.
Let us know where you would want to put these. Where would you rate it? I think we can make this even link this tier list so you can fill it out yourself.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see that. But yeah, I think it was very well. I think it went a little longer than I thought it would be, just because like
Me
there's a lot more.
but there's
movies.
a lot of movies.
Yeah. When I wrote it down, it didn't look a lot of it, but most of them were like trilogies. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
because you wrote franchise. You didn't write
Yeah.
them all out. I mean, I looked at them. I was like, damn, that's a lot.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Nerds Be Like podcast. We really appreciate it. Like I said, if you want to fill out the tier list on your own, by all means, go ahead. It'd be interesting to see like other people's point of view. So wherever you may have listened to it, if you want to switch that up, we're available wherever you get your podcasts from. That includes YouTube. So, subscribe to that. We are at Nerds Be Like Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Give us a follow on that. Or also you can email us, DM us on the social media. Email us at nerdsbelikePod@gmail.com. For anything like that, leave a review on iTunes, as well as go check out our merch and such. We have links and resources for you to check out. But if you wanted to like support, say the what's happening in Afghanistan right now, feel free to donate to it and find something that you're able to help out with that. I think we can just wrap it up with Darren, where can people find you? Do you have anything like coming up? Any new projects?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, just want to say thank you to both you guys for chatting up with me, Dan and Eric. You guys were great. Nerds Be Like podcast, was super excited to be here. Also, for me, it's Darren Rita on anything. You type it into Google. My website's darrenrita.com, Spotify, Apple Music for my music. That's all Darren Rita, as well as my podcast on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music as well. It's just Darren Rita. You can find me anywhere just looking up my name. That's Darren, DARREN RITA. And yeah, I just dropped a new single called Different Cities that's out everywhere. And
It's really good.
Thank you. I've been getting
and a
some
really
songs
nice
these
bop.
days. Thank you. Yeah, it's a nice vibe, nice chill vibe. So if you check that out and let me know what you thought about it, I'd love that. Otherwise, if you just looking to chat with somebody else who wants to nerd out with you, you can hit me up, and I'd love to do that too.
Yeah, man, appreciate you coming onto the show. I was really excited to do this tier list because like it just kind of brought a whole back. It like brought me back to like childhood and like everything like that, and like it was really nostalgic just rewatching stuff. So I appreciate you joining us for that. And yeah,
Absolutely.
check out his music. I was listening to it when we were having a conversation, and when it came out, I was like, I really like the Different Cities one.
Wow, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We will be back with something different. You know, who's to say? How Patty says, one of our co-hosts.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? But thank you for joining, and we'll catch you guys some other time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Peace.